Hello everyone, my name is Heather and welcome to the channel Bookables. Today I am here to do a tag I do every single year at the exact same time because it is the middle of 2024. That's right folks, we're already halfway through the year. We have been through half a year and we have half a year to go. Whose year is not going so well? Mine. This year is probably one of the hardest years I've ever had, honestly, but that happens. Either way, today I'm doing the mid-year book Freakout tag. Like I said, I have done this every year for like, I don't know, 6 or 7. I'll link them all down below, but basically just ask about your reading progression of the year thus far. So let's get into it. The first question is best book you have read in 2024. So for me, this reading year has been somewhat okay. I have to say, hands down, my favorite book of the year thus far. There are some ones I'm really anticipating for the second half of the year, so this could be usurped or usurped. I forget what the proper terminology is, but it's gonna take a lot to. But that is Just for the Summer, Abby Jimenez. I love this one. It is my favorite by hers, and it took a lot because I loved the Happy Ever After playlist. That was her second book ever released, but this one, it was romantic, it was beautiful, it kicked to me in my heart and my gut, but gosh, I freaking loved it. Is best sequel you have read in 2024? I don't read a lot of sequels. I don't read a lot of series, period. That is just kind of how it goes. Sorry for the sun. But I guess technically, if we want to get like super technical, the best probably sequel slash companion I've read so far, the 2 Sarah Adams books I've read so far this year, they are both sequel slash companion novels. They're not like direct sequels, but they're in the same series, so I'm gonna count them as sequels. Practice Makes Perfect, this is the sequel to When in Rome, and then the rule book, this is the sequel to the cheat sheet. Both of these, I love Practice Makes Perfect. I gave it a 5 out of 5. It was super cute, clean romance, adored it. I also loved the rule book, so there's my 2 sequels. Is that cheating? Probably. Next up is new release you haven't read yet but want to. Where do I begin? Lots. Actually, I'm pretty decent, I think, thus far. I have to say Not in Love is one I still have not read yet, which I'm really ashamed of myself, but I haven't read that one yet. But I can't think of any more that I could think of. I'll put them up if I can remember them, but I think I'm pretty decent so far with the new releases this year. I hope. Then we have most anticipated books of the second half of the year. It says book, but I'm putting books because I have a lot. You think could top Just for the Summer, just because the trajectory of The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer, that one comes out next month. The Wishing Game by her was my favorite book of last year, so maybe it'll follow the trend, maybe not. We also have Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune. This is the sequel to House by the Cerulean Sea, which I love, so I'm very excited for that one. Likewise, we have another sequel, A Witch's Guide to Innkeeping by Sangu Madana, another one that I loved and adored, the first book in the series. We have Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter, another sequel. This is a YA book. Dare I say I'm putting an anticipated book on this list because I love I love Just Like the Movies. That is that what it's called? I love Lynn Painter's YA books. I really, really do. And then lastly, I have The Songbird of Heart and Stone by Carissa Broadbent. This is continuing on with her series of A Serpent on Wings and Night, but it's following different characters than our main characters. And I loved Serpent of the Wings of Night last year. Loved it, loved it, loved it. So those are the ones I could think of right now that I'm very much looking forward to the next half of the year. We have Biggest Disappointment. And this one I think is going to break a lot of people's hearts, including my own. So I have A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. I know. Now, this is not to say it was a horrible book by any means, but this question is your biggest disappointment. I have loved both of Ashley Poston's books. My favorite of hers is The 7-Year Slip. I gave it a 5 out of 5. It was one of my favorites. I love The Dead Romantics. This one I liked, I didn't love. It was a disappointment in the fact that I loved and adored her first 2 books, and this one just didn't hit for me. I don't know if it was my mind frame at the time, or I feel like I just didn't connect with the characters. I didn't love the romance. It just wasn't there for me. Now, it's not to say I didn't like it. I gave it a 4 out of 5. The writing was beautiful, the overall message, but it just didn't hit me like her other books. So that is why, sadly, I put it in this category. And yeah, if you loved it, I'm glad you did. I'm super glad you did because I could see a lot of people loving it, and with good reason. Biggest surprise is Ready or Not by Kira Bastone. I heard a lot about this, so I decided to read it, and I thought it was gonna be cute, but I loved it. It was just so cute and adorable, and I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did, but I loved it. And then we have 2 books by Elsie Silver. Now, I read the first book in her Chestnut Spring series last year called I always forget what the first one's called, Flawless, and I liked it. I was like, this is okay, do I want to continue out the series? Well, I did, and let me tell you, I'm glad I did, because I loved the second book, Heartless, by that, and then I loved the fourth book, Reckless. This one was a big surprise for me. I thought, I was like, Reckless is gonna be boring, I don't care about these characters, but this has ended up being my favorite of this series thus far. I have one more to go, but I don't see much else topping this one, so these two are total surprise because I thought I would like them. I didn't think I would love them, and love them I did. Favorite new author, speaking of that, is debut or new to you. I'm gonna put Elsie Silver just because I've read 3 of her books, actually 4 of her books so far this year, and I've really enjoyed them. And she's not a new to me author at all. I've heard of her. I read her books last year, so I just really have come to love her books this year, so I'm gonna count her for that. I need to get better about reading new authors. I'm not good about that, and that's not good. Next up, we have newest fictional crush. This one, hands down, Lo from Bride. This is a vampire werewolf story. Lo was a werewolf. I loved him. I love him. He is amazing. He is for sure my newest fictional crush, and this is one of my favorites also of the year. Newest favorite character. I haven't read a ton of characters this year that have really impacted me a ton, other than I will have to say, maybe the characters from Just for the Summer. They were going through a lot of traumatic things in their life, and I resonated with them through that. I didn't have nearly as much trauma as they did, but I felt kind of a kinship with them, I would say, for that. So I'm supposing that one, I guess. Book that made you cry. This one right here, I sobbed. I don't think there was another book this year that made me cry, actually. Not yet, I will say. It takes a lot for me to cry with books, but then you know, when the floodgates open, they open, my friend. The opposite book that made you happy. For this one, I have lots. I like reading a lot of lighthearted romances because I don't want to be like Debbie Downer. I have a lot of just kind of deep and kind of sad stuff in my life. That's not to say pity me at all. We all go through things like that, and reading like kind of cutesy books is my escapism from that, so I read a lot of those. So I have a lot of books that made me happy this year. Honestly, both the Sarah Adams books made me happy. They're super cute. If I want to be happy, I will read a Sarah Adams book. They're just kind of guaranteed like happiness in a book. Also, I really love the Rom-Commers by Catherine Zenner. This book made me pretty happy as well. We have the most beautiful book you've bought or received this year. That's a good one. I don't know for this one. I do love the cover of this, of Fate Inked in Blood by Daniel L. Johnson. It is beautiful. It's got teal kind of lettering. It's got this as well, but this is another disappointment for me. I didn't love it, but I do love the cover of it. I mean, like, I adore these covers by Lila Sage. I'm super excited. This is the second one in the series. I'm really excited for the third one. I might skip this one because I don't feel like any of the characters are drawing to me, but the covers, chef's kiss. Did I have Ruthless Vows this year or not? But either way, I have not read this yet, but it's a beautiful freaking cover. Like, these covers are just stunning. Oh, I forgot. Heartless Hunter. It's a YA one. It was a disappointment because I was really expecting to love it. I didn't know it was YA, which is not a knock on it at all, but I was expecting more of an adult fantasy, so I didn't love it, but the cover, I love. The last question, but of course, is what books do you need to read by the end of the year? A lot. I showed you Swift and Saddled. Butcher and Blackbird I still need to read. Let's see. Some other ones. I still need to read Checkmate. Here's some other ones. Not in Love by Allie Hazelwood. I still really need to read this one. I really want to read Len Painter's Betting on You. Haven't read it yet. Also, Off to the Races by Elsie Silver. This is one that has been previously published, but it's been republished, so of course I had to buy it, and I love Elsie Silver now, so I need to read that one. Are there lots more on my Kindle? Abso-freaking-lutely. So there you have the mid-year book Freakout tag. I've read actually a lot. I told you I read 55 books. No, it's 45 books. So I'm not doing 100% the best, but it's summer. It's hard for me to read right now because I have 2 kids at home all day, every day, and I have literally no time to myself. Like, filming this is the only time I'm gonna get today. Either way, I would love to know how you're doing with reading this year. Is it good? Is it bad? Let me know down in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.